If you are an American who doesn't know much about Japan, other than it being the home of Tokyo and Buddhist temples, then you may be shocked to learn that phone stores in the country do not bolt cell phones down. This fact alone would indicate a high level of trust in Japan. It is often called a high trust society by those who know a decent amount about it. You may have seen experiments on YouTube that show people in Tokyo leaving expensive devices in a cafe or restaurant only for those same devices to still be there, ready for the owner of said devices to still take home. In America, we have it very different, to say the least. It would be much riskier to put your wallet in your back pocket in New York than it would be in Tokyo. So why is distrust and crime so much higher in America than in Japan? There are definitely differences between the two countries, not even mentioning culture. But what exactly makes these differences? Before I dive into this video, I'd like to point out that neither America nor Japan are utopias. We have to remember, every country has a set of problems. With that being said, there are definitely things we as human beings can learn from one another. In America, we are told to embrace multiculturalism. I want to be perfectly clear when I say that diversity, while it shouldn't be forced, is not a bad thing. There are, however, things with multiculturalism. America gets more immigrants than any other country on earth, and I welcome people who want to come here. However, people who come here need to respect American values, such as history, etiquette, constitution, etc. Other countries expect the same. Why shouldn't America? We sing the national anthem, we have barbecues, we wave the American flag, etc. These are American values. In today's America, I believe we have strayed away from good morals. In Japan, kids are taught at a young age morals like respect, responsibility, and community engagement. As someone who grew up in America, very rarely were things like that ever implemented into the curriculum. But how can we teach kids those things here in America? In order to know that, we need to understand what the things I listed are. Respect is a mutual understanding in society to treat everyone the way you'd want to be treated. Responsibility can mean many things, but some of the most important responsibilities are civic duties. For instance, serving on a jury. However, as someone who was once a child myself, these may seem like frivolous things. So it is best to explain why these are important. For instance, serving on a jury is important because it allows for a balanced look at guilt or innocence, allowing for people to have a say in justice. Community engagement is something that I feel the school system gets wrong. Schools only participate in community engagement for events, and honestly, kids don't really accomplish much through them. A better way to have schools get their students to participate in things after school is things that their parents can sign them up for. For instance, and this is just an example I came up with, picking up trash along a highway for an hour or two. Things like that help kids make a positive difference. As an American, I believe that most of us get along, even if our politics differ. However, our politicians constantly tell us that one side or the other is destroying America. While undoubtedly there needs to be reform, I feel like politicians are irresponsible with what they say. Now, when I say this, I don't mean to say two perspectives cannot disagree with each other, nor do I think freedom of speech should not be upheld. Freedom of speech stands even if you don't like said speech. However, I would argue that it's a different story when someone is in a position of power to say or even imply that one side is destroying the country. The perceived and real division in this country could be easily fixed if politicians more often made an effort to spread national unity. Perhaps when Congress gathers, the first thing they should do is sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Or better yet, have television and radio stations across America broadcast our nation's anthem at the beginning of People's Day. Have platforms like YouTube put it at the front page of their interface. It may sound strange or even crazy to do that, But that's what America is about. From our very founding, we dared to start a revolution and imagine the nation radically different from the rest of the world. Though we may disagree politically, I would argue it's not only up to ourselves, but our leaders to remind us that we are bound to one another by principles: freedom of the individual, equality, justice. These are things that kept the American cause strong. If there are some things that you should take with you, it's to get involved. Write to your elected officials. Be open to conversations. Do something that makes a difference, even if that something is small. And remember that while we may disagree on things, it's our principles that make America America.